All right. I think we're ready to go. Right. What if I told you that more than 1,500 people die per week in America due to the use of opioids and fentanyl overdoses? Well, according to the Council on Foreign Relations, this nightmarish amount has become a reality. My name is Sierra Madsen, and I'm going to be telling you about the fentanyl and opioid crisis in America. I'm first going to give you a summary about what this actually is, and then I'm going to give you a plan of action and what you can do to help curb this crisis. So, Alejandro Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Secretary, actually coined this as the single greatest um, challenge that we face as a country today. This epidemic has many causes and has found its way into every crack of American society. Fentanyl and opioid abuse. Oh, shoot, I'm spinning in the freaking chair. We might have to redo this. I want to stand.
You can also see Jack in the back corner. Like you can totally see him like peeking. And then Vicky, you need to mute.
I know.
Sorry, those are my notes.
Okay, so it was a mess. We're gonna redo it.
Okay.
Oh, it was great otherwise.
What?
Yeah, we messed it up for you.
Okay, Mom, turn off your sound.
Where? Oh, hold on.
Okay, wait, actually, I need you to turn your sound on so we can all say hello.
Oh, hold on. No, I don't know how to get it back on.
Wait, Mom, you're literally I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right, can my audience please say hello?
Hello.
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 Hello. Okay, perfect. All right, let's get started. So, what if I told you that more than 1,500 people die per week in America due to the use of opioids and fentanyl overdoses? Well, according to the Council on Foreign Relations, this nightmarish amount has become a reality. Hello, everyone that doesn't know me. My name is Sierra Madsen, and today I'm going to be talking about the fentanyl and opioid crisis in America. First, I'm going to be giving you a summary about what this crisis actually is, and then give you a plan of action on what you can do to help curb this crisis. All right. It shouldn't be news to anyone that the opioid and fentanyl epidemic is here and doesn't have any signs of going away anytime soon. Alejandro Mayorkas, a Homeland Security Secretary, even referred to this as the single greatest issue that we face as a country today. This epidemic has many causes and has found its way into every crack of American society. Fentanyl and opioid abuse is extremely harmful, a sudden killer, and an incredibly addictive one. While a vast majority of these drugs are trafficked and sold illegally, a good number of these addictions start in hospitals. Even if it does sound hopeless, there are many ways that we can still prevent these senseless deaths. So today I'm going to be sharing with you why this issue is such a crisis and share with you ways that we can prevent it. Because not only does it affect our economy, it kills hundreds of thousands every year. So first and foremost, I believe it's relevant to learn a little bit about this issue and grasp how truly widespread and drastic it is in order to fully understand it. Oh, shoot. Okay. So what is fentanyl? Fentanyl is a pain-killing drug that can be prescribed or illegally made and distributed. Fentanyl is a very strong painkiller and can be 50 times stronger than heroin and 100 times stronger than morphine. It is extremely addictive, and very small doses can lead to hypoxia and ultimately death, according to the National Institute of Drug Abuse. Drug dealers have been found mixing fentanyl with many other popular street drugs like cocaine, meth, heroin, and MDMA. When fentanyl is mixed with these substances, users unknowingly can overdose a lot easier since it only takes a very small dose of fentanyl to make these drugs even more lethal. All right. So if you can see the picture on the screen, this is what a lethal dose of fentanyl looks like compared to a lethal dose of heroin. And as you can see, it does not take a lot to kill someone. It's actually insane looking at this. All right, so where does all this fentanyl come from? Well, a vast majority of illegal fentanyl originates from China. Since 2019, the flow of fentanyl has continuously grown and now comes from even more countries than before. Mexico and China, though, are still the main suppliers of fentanyl, according to the DEA. Dealers often mix fentanyl with other pills in an effort to increase the potency of these drugs. It's illegally transported in the forms of powders, pills, and even nasal sprays. According to the DEA, 42% of pills tested for fentanyl contained at least 2 milligrams of fentanyl, which is considered a highly lethal dose. So, the death tolls that we experience in America. Over 150 people die per day from overdoses. Sorry, according to the CDC. More than 100,000 died to opioid-related overdoses in 2020. And sorry, it is the #1 leading cause of death in America and people under the age of 50. All right. Now that we understand what fentanyl is, where it comes from, and the high death tolls due to it, we will now discuss why you should also care about this issue. Even if you think you're not personally affected by this crisis, think again, because the fentanyl opioid epidemic has a massive effect on our economy. The opioid epidemic has led to a decrease in the labor force due to higher rates of addiction and deaths. Of 6.3 million workers absent from the workforce in 2020, 20% of those were due to drug use. The Joint Economic Committee estimates that the opioid epidemic cost the United States nearly $1.5 trillion in 2020 alone. There are also economic inequalities present, since the majority of opioid deaths were seen in Black Americans, even though opioid use is more prevalent in white Americans. So the economic impact of the fentanyl crisis shows that not only does it affect those addicted, it affects everyone in America. Right. Since we have become entirely aware of the weight of this issue, it's now time to discuss how we can help fix it and why you should help. So first and foremost, what you can do. Harm reduction. This is the most important thing in my opinion. We can be prepared for an overdose. Harm reduction is a huge part in helping prevent overdoses because a lot of the time, you cannot stop people from taking these drugs, but you can make sure that they're being as safe as possible while doing so. This includes testing substances to make sure you know what you're meant to be taking. I have known many people that have been laced with drugs they didn't know about because they did not test first. I have known some people that have even died because of these instances. Making test kits legal and accessible too could prevent thousands of overdoses from occurring. Carrying naloxone, also known as Narcan, and learning how to administer it can save lives. This is a drug that has recently been approved by the FDA that can literally reverse an overdose. This is a life-saving medicine. So many, if not all, of these deaths could have been preventable if this medicine was available to them. And there are many sites where you can actually apply to get this medicine for free or visit a local pharmacy. One of those websites being endoverdose.net. You can apply to get free Narcan and free training for it. All right. So another thing that we can help do is provide recovery options for people that are affected by this epidemic. No other health crisis in America results in arrests. So why should we be arresting those in the clutches of drug addiction? These drugs alter and rewire our brains and are extremely harmful. These people need medical treatment, not to be thrown behind bars. Rehab is more cost-effective, humane, and has a higher likelihood of success than jail time, according to the Renaissance Recovery. Right. Another thing that you can do is vote. Voting for representatives and lawmakers that wish to enact better drug-related policies can make a huge difference. For example, Joe Biden has actually created the National Drug Control Strategy, which has made rehab more accessible, widened harm reduction education, increased production of Narcan and testing strips, and helped crack down on drug trafficking. So, there are many things that we can do as a community to help prevent these senseless deaths and hopefully begin to slow the continuous growth of this epidemic. By voting, being prepared, and educating yourself and others, we can start to move in the right direction. In closing, obviously much is needed to be done to fix this issue, and it's not something that will happen overnight. Fentanyl is a very harmful drug that is present in hospitals and transported and created illegally. Always be careful and test your substances if you do choose to partake in these activities. Fentanyl is present in every walk of life in America, so we must be vigilant and respectful to those suffering of this illness. There is a future ahead of us, even for those suffering from addiction. Thank you very much. That was my speech, everyone.